What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Bayou Jaguar. This is my first run at this, something I'm really excited about. Like I said earlier on Twitter, I used to do a ton of sports radio here locally, and haven't gotten to do it in a while. So I'm really interested to have a platform to talk sports again, especially the happenings about the team that you love and I love, and that makes us all cry, the Jacksonville Jaguars. How did I end up a Jaguars fan living in this part of the country? Long story for another episode. Really not that long, but, for a different episode. So, what I want to talk about in this first episode, before I get into it, I hope everybody's families and you are doing well during this crazy time. Thoughts and prayers to everybody being affected. Please stay home and stay safe so we can get our sports back. I did not realize how much of a sports junkie I was until it was taken away from me. I always knew I was a diehard fan. I've thrown plenty of fits over the Jaguars over the years that my wife has seen. But now I have realized how much sports means to me now that it's been taken away. So hang in there, guys, and we're going to get our sports and our lives back soon. And again, for everyone that's suffering from this, prayers for a speedy recovery. We're all thinking about you. We appreciate our healthcare workers and our doctors and our nurses. Guys, keep fighting the good fight. We are praying for you. We're so grateful for you. Okay, so this first episode that I really want to talk about was the draft, obviously. It's on everybody's minds. It's the next big sports thing that we get, and we're all desperately craving some sports, some news. In 2016, everybody knew what the Jaguars were going to do with their first-round pick. We all knew that if Ezekiel Elliott went to the Cowboys, Jalen Ramsey was coming to Jacksonville. I remember watching it with my now wife, and as soon as they said the Dallas Cowboys select Ezekiel Elliott, I was so excited because I knew it was coming. I knew Jalen Ramsey was coming to Jacksonville. So in 2017, same thing. We all knew that Leonard Fournette was coming to Jacksonville. It was kind of a foregone conclusion. I was so excited about it because I'm a big fan of his. Then we go to the AFC Championship. 2018 begins the stretch of having no clue what's going to happen with our first-round pick. We take Taven Bryan, defensive lineman out of Florida. First, people are kind of scratching their heads. And, I was one of them because I really didn't know much about him. He struggled as a rookie, came on strong towards the end of last year. I think he's going to have a great year 3 in 2020. And then 2019, the same thing happens. No one knows what we're going to do with 7. A guy like Josh Allen out of Kentucky, the good Josh Allen, falls into our laps. And that was a huge boost for us as a team. Should have been Defensive Rookie of the Year. And big things are coming. Josh Allen's going to be a superstar. So he fell into our laps because of some questionable moves that happened ahead of us. But for the third year in a row, at number 9 and number 20, we have no idea what we're going to do with these first-round picks. I don't even think Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone really know right now. I think they obviously have a great idea of what they're going to do, but they don't know what's going to happen ahead of them. None of us do, because draft night can get crazy, as we all know. I think the only thing that's for sure is I think Burrow won to the Cincinnati Bengals, and Young from Ohio State to number 2 to the Washington Redskins. After that, it's chaos. I do think Miami's going to trade up for Tua Tagovailoa. I think they're going to pass on the questionable medicals, and I think they're going to take their quarterback of the future with Tua. I think Justin Herbert's going to be an LA Charger. And then other than that, no clue. Do the Giants stand pat at 4 instead of letting someone let them trade back for a quarterback? New York's in a position where they could move back a few spots and still land Jeffrey Okudah out of Ohio State or Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson and gain additional draft capital. So they're in a really good spot, and so are the Detroit Lions, obviously, at 3. But nobody really knows what's going to happen ahead of us. So I think that leaves us with a big question mark at 9 and 20. The first thing I want to address is Jeffrey Okudah. Tremendous player out of Ohio State. I would love to have him in Jacksonville. I'm a fan of trading up to get him if necessary, as long as it doesn't cost the number 20 pick also. I think we have so many holes, guys, on this team, at offensive line, at receiver, at corner especially, at defensive tackle. So I'm not a fan of trading both first-round picks for a corner or for really anybody in this draft. I think we need to take advantage of the fact that us, the Las Vegas Raiders, which will take some used to getting to saying that, the Miami Dolphins, who have 3, and the Minnesota Vikings all have multiple first-round picks, and we all are going to be able to add 2 or more studs because this first round is loaded with talent in multiple positions. So I don't think we should give up both first-round picks for anybody. So at 20, to me, it's a little bit more clear. I think we go receiver or corner at 20, depending on what we don't get earlier. Guys like C.J. Henderson out of Florida, Christian Fulton out of LSU, I think are going to be the play at corner at 20, or a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson out of LSU or Mims out of Baylor, or guys that I see us grabbing at 20. Now, 9 is the question mark. Do we stand pat? Do we take an offensive lineman to protect Gardner Minshew, bump Ken Robinson in the guard? A guy like Becton out of Louisville, a guy like Willis out of Alabama, Wirfs of Iowa if he somehow falls. Do we go defensive tackle, which a lot of people mocked us early but are kind of backing off of that? Do we take Kinlaw from South Carolina or Derek Brown out of Auburn? Do we reach on a wide receiver or a second-tier corner after Okudah at 9? I just don't see that happening. I don't think we're the type of team to take a top 10 receiver this year. Now, Ruggs, Judy, Lamb, and even, in my opinion, Jefferson are all worthy of being high picks, but I just don't see it happening. I personally am a fan of trading back, grabbing that receiver in the 12, 13, 14, 15 range, one of those top 3 guys, because some teams are going to pass on them to take offensive line help, and see if a team wants to jump up and give us an extra top 100 pick. I saw one mock where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traded up from 14 to 9, our spot, gave us their 3rd-round pick this year and their 3rd-round pick next year. I take that in a heartbeat because they're going to take offensive line. They don't need a receiver in Tampa. They have Evans and Godwin, and they have guys that are really good at catching the football. They're not going to take a top 10 receiver. They're going to take offensive line help, in my opinion, to help out Tom Brady. So if we get offered a deal like that, I say we take it, drop back to 14, take your pick of who's left out of Ruggs, Lamb, and Judy. All 3 are going to be studs at the NFL level. And then take your corner at 20 with C.J. Henderson or Christian Fulton. Or if at 14 you really don't think you can pass on a corner, take Fulton or Henderson and then take your receiver at 20, which will be, I think, Jefferson or Mims. So let me know what you guys think. I'm interested to connect with some Jaguars fans, some more Jaguars fans. I have a ton of Twitter Jags family that I converse with all the time. So let me know what you think. Tweet me or comment on this, and just let me know what you think we should do at 9. Tell me the player you want to take, or tell me the scenario you think we should trade back or trade up and go get Okudah, which I'm a fan of as long as it doesn't cost pick 20, because we need to land as much top 100 talent as possible to give Gardner Minshew and this team a shot in 2020. So appreciate you guys watching. This is the first run. I will come back with another video probably next week when we get about a week away from the draft. I'm really excited for what the 2020 draft could bring to the Jaguars. I really think we have an opportunity to make our team drastically better by drafting probably up to 5 guys based on trades, 5 to 6 guys in the top 100, depending on the moves that we make. So I'm really excited for that opportunity and that possibility. And as always, go Jags.